Well, hello there, everyone. Sorry for the wait. I had a little issue with one of my drives was renamed for some reason during a Windows update, so it was causing issues with getting the project to load, but all is good now. Just need to get the music started. Go. Excellent. But yes, I'm excited to be back. It's been a while, and I'm excited to see everybody here. Let me just go ahead and announce the stream, and we'll be good to go. Go. Oh yeah, we need the music. You have to have something to distract you from my voice. Let's see. Boom. Stream time. Just like that. We are good to go. No, not an ad. Okay, so this isn't actually where we're going to be today, but let's get this moved over to the right spot. Hello there. Nice to see everyone. So we had to take a short break from streaming because there was a crash that I was dealing with on the map. It was pretty difficult to locate the culprit, so you'll see a few things that look different at the moment. I removed some things or changed some things out while I was trying to figure out what was going on. So, it'll look a little different in some spots, like this missing pond here that we're going to put back. You know, I'm with you on that. I use AdBlock as well. I couldn't go without it. So right now, we're having to switch to a different water system, at least temporarily. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in this area. I loved the other one, but it was causing some performance issues after a bit that I wasn't happy with. So temporarily, we're going to use this one. My favorite. In the game or just in general? Ooh, look at that. So all we need to do with this is just make it wider, but this is what we're using for the moment for water, but I'm probably going to end up changing that. It's just something that does the job for now. Actually, let's use an entirely different one. I don't actually need this for this area. Let's use plain for now. I have really missed doing the streams, so I'm really glad to be back. That was a difficult issue to solve, but it was solved, so we're good. I wasn't the one who made this game. That would be Islander. I saw it, I loved the idea, and I wanted to join, and got lucky enough that they accepted me. We're going to use a couple of planes here to do this. And let's put a water material on it. I'm big on rocks. You'll see, there are millions. Yes, my apologies for the wait. The Windows renaming one of my drives was unexpected, so took a minute to resolve that. There we go, that looks nice. And it's nice and cheap on performance. I loved the water simulations, so I'm still going to find a way to get that to work probably. But for right now, I won't be using them. But that looks nice. I'll keep this. As for hotspots, I can think of a few. I'm curious to see what everyone actually does. Let's say this is... We'll just put it in the redwoods. Outer area. Definitely, I can definitely show off the map. Sometimes all it takes is a really simple material for water, and it does the job. Don't always need anything really fancy. As for flying trees, occasionally they pop up, so I just get rid of them. Or make them stop flying. Or I could call it a feature. You just never know. What's this? Here we go. Yeah, a few of the things I access all the time moved around a little bit because while I was bug fixing, I tried just about everything, so... You're right. Flying tree. It's a feature, actually. It's probably one of my favorite features. Now, occasionally, like, you'll see right here, we have a couple that were sticking up, but I'm wiping out these trees, and we're going to kind of remake this area. And they also don't need to cull so close, so I'm going to change that right now. Let's see. Set it to... I don't know what it's set to right now, but... Oh... Yeah, that should be good. Oh yes, please do break the map, so I can fix it. Let me make sure I turned off my equalizer. I did. If I need to turn it up, just let me know. I talk a little quiet too. But we're gonna go ahead and remove these fir trees. Ah, yes. I'm glad to hear it. I love working on it. So we're going to wipe out these trees entirely and start over right here. Actually, those were fine how they were. Because I just threw these trees in there as a placeholder until I had time to come back and make it look the way I wanted. The look I want to go for now is more like rock structures around here and clumps of trees instead of densely populated across this whole thing. I want it to be more of like a grasslands kind of look. Eventually we'll be putting some coast redwoods here outside of the redwood forest over there, which has giant sequoias. I think Eocar, personally. And hello there. And try not to remove any of these in the actual redwood forest right there. Maybe I'm just afraid of change, and that's why I'm stuck on the Eocar. Ah, yes, you and me both. That's what I want. I would like people to have a reason to go around the whole map. I'm sure it'll take some experimenting. Let me see how dense we need this. That's... I think I want a little bit more. That's better. Okay. So we'll start with just the clumps of trees, and then we'll add some... I'm going to make some actors for rock structures that we're going to set around. So I think one good spot is right here. Yeah, and we'll also be updating the map throughout the time that it's out. So if I see that some spots are kind of terrible, definitely going to fix it. Actually, one thing I love that I'm never really done with the map, because even after the game comes out, I'm not done updating it. Okay, so we're going to have like little groups of trees like this. I'll probably come back and add a few here and there to make it more dense in some spots. I don't know why I used a different material right here, so I'm going to rectify that real quick. It's chill for me too, I like it. I'm actually not going to leave this material on this mountain, but maybe just down at the base. And we'll fix that sand there in a second. Like I said, a few things will look a little off from how it normally does because I was changing so many things trying to find the crash, and luckily it is fixed now, but that was definitely one of the least fun times I've had finding the source of a crash. Oh yes, we actually do have a ton of ferns. It's like a theme of the streams. I have a thing for ferns, I must admit. Is this doing this? I think I'll have to come back and fix this. Think I know what it is. Yeah. I'll have to come back and fix this, but no big deal. It's out of the way for the moment. I do want to change the material on the mountain, though, if it'll allow me. We'll see. I think... I have to decide what I want to use up here. Let me see what this looks like. I think it might look a little weird here. It's not bad. I could use that. That's a good question. I think Islander can probably answer that. No. And right here, oh, yeah, it did let me. Very good. But yeah, I think the wrong layer is set for part of the sand right there, so easy fix, but I'm not going to do it on the stream because it's just a waste of time that we could be making things, because I did miss making things. And yes, we have a few caves right now, but they're on the smaller side except for one. But I do have caves planned, and just haven't done them all yet. They're pretty time consuming to do, so I just take little breaks in between caves. Oh my god, that'd be amazing. I just read that comment. People with bongos. Yes. I would love that. It kind of reminds me, I don't know if any of you have played the newer Battlefront 2 game, but there's a mode called Ewok Hunt, and I love it. The sounds of Ewoks screeching, drums, horns, and then suddenly you're swarmed by Ewoks and getting murdered with spears. Completely normal. Oh. Excellent. And we do need to replace the water here, so we'll do that. Although it's going to be more of a temporary replacement. But anyways, back to the trees. I think this would be another good spot. Yes, it did. And I have more to add actually. I was working on them before the crashing issue. There we go. I really liked having trees in this spot, so definitely wanted them back. Let me have this stop painting on meshes though. Don't really want that. Trees don't grow to rocks normally. Absolutely. Sky Tribe. That's where it's at. I actually need to set those to stop appearing all the time because I don't actually need to see it. See if there's a good spot up here for a few trees. Maybe right there. Right here. Excellent. Thank you, I really appreciate that. And I definitely missed working on the map, because for a few weeks it was all looking for the source of the crash, and that was painful. Get these to spawn a little bit further down in the ground. Maybe like -15 maybe? Because as soon as it goes on a little incline, they float. It's so annoying. Like that. That needs to not happen. Why? Oh, you know what? I think I know why it's doing that. But these also really aren't that deep. Okay, let's try again. Just need to find a good height for these, because that issue has been around for a little bit, and I really don't want the floating trees. Yes, I definitely do want to do that. Actually, we do have one like that. I'll make sure to show it on the stream. If I forget before the end, just remind me and I'll show you. But we have a big lake with an island in the middle with some ruins on it. think I'm going to fill out most of this middle area with trees. I say the middle. This is like nowhere near the middle. I think I like this look. This is Unreal 5, and we're using Nanite and Lumen, and every actor on the map is very heavily optimized for Nanite, so this will be a slightly different Nanite experience than you've had in other games, I can tell you that. I've manually modified a huge amount of the foliage to make it perform well with Nanite, and I also have made a bunch of the trees myself in the game. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And same with the plants. I also never got around to putting debris out here, I think, so I need to do that. Yes, Islander. I can do that. I wasn't exactly a streamer before this, so I'm still a noob. That is correct. Nanite only works with DirectX 12. I'll get better at being a streamer, though. Everyone just has to get onto me every now and then, because I don't know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing with the map, but that's where my expertise ends. Let's put some trees right here. I'm glad to hear it. I never rewatch them because I hate hearing my own voice. We don't have an exact release date for when the game's going to come out, but we do plan to have it in early access, at least for those who want to do that. Hopefully, beginning of next year. Possibly before, I don't know. I'm going to put some right here, too. Oh, and you know, sometimes I might be responding to the voices. You never know. So if you get confused at what I'm responding to, just assume it's the voices. I will not elaborate. It's a vibe. Yeah, I definitely will start doing that. I didn't even think about it. Reading out the... See, look at that, I did it again. When you watch YouTubers, they read out the question. Yes, I definitely will do that. I'll probably slip up several times, though. For the record, there is like absolutely zero science to how I'm making this right now. I'm just doing it. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. I think we're pretty good on the trees. Well, I'll put a few more right here. Yeah, right about here. Inside the rock. I think not. Okay, I think this is looking pretty solid for... Sorry, my throat's all scratchy. I think it's looking pretty solid though, so we will adjust the draw distance a little bit on some of these trees. It's a benefit of Nanite. I don't have to be so strict on draw distance, especially since I'm using full geometry trees, which helps a lot. Usually I just try to limit the small plants. Yeah, those are definitely too short. There we go. Yes, there are going to be multiple maps in the game. There will be 2. So we are going to add more like ground scatter, smaller plants and such, but right now let's make a few rock assemblies to scatter around here. Instead of just painting rocks, I want to make like assemblies of them in formations, things like that, and use those because I think it'll look nicer. But I'll still leave these random rocks here that I already painted. They look pretty good. These are some of the ferns I made for the game, by the way. As an example of some of the custom-made stuff specifically for Nanite. Probably going to use different rocks here for the assemblies of them. Oh yeah, leaving the shoreline more open, yes. We actually do have a pretty open shoreline. And is the map going to be as dense as Rima? It's very dense in the spots where I think it's appropriate for it to be dense, like the jungle, for example. But I recently opened up the jungle more. Yeah, I don't think we're going to use these right now. I recently opened up the jungle more, so there are more clearings now. Let's see what we have here. And absolutely, I can give an overview of the map. I'll go ahead and do it right now. This will take just a moment. I'm just going to load the entire thing, because we're on just a tiny section. and we could definitely look at the jungle. Well, thank you for dropping in. I hope you sleep well. And this will take just a moment to load. The map is pretty big. Hey, it's good to have goals, man. Be second in points. I'm glad to hear that you think we're friendlier. We also, if you drop, I don't know if you're already in the Discord, but we also have a channel where you can make requests or things like that for the map, because I want people to be able to be involved in what the final, or I guess there is no final map, but anyways, what the map is going to look like. So I can't guarantee that all the requests will be done, but I do look at them. That's a good idea. We have some oasis areas right now, but I could do that. Referring to the, as you'll see, there are some trees missing. Ignore that. So the whole map, you can see we were just in that tiny little area right there. This is the whole map. You'll see there are some unfinished spots, but for the most part the map is populated at a base amount at the very least. But yeah, it's pretty big. And we'll take a look at the jungle before we get back to the rocks. Yeah, the map has taken quite a while to make. So let me slow down the camera here. So this is the jungle. There are spots that are more dense and spots that are less dense. That's one thing I'm working on right now. Since we're in the editor, the foliage is going to load in a little slowly in some spots, but you'll get the point. And there are plenty of improvements I can make. I just entirely remade this jungle, so it's not even close to how it's going to be. It's in progress. And I need to clean this up a little bit, but I also made these mangroves for the game. Pretty nifty if I do say so myself. I don't remember how big that map is. Islander might know. Oh no, you'll be perfectly fine on a 4060. It's much more demanding in the editor, so you'll see me get frame drops and things like that because it's a lot heavier when you're in the editor. But I've seen it run on as low as a 1060 so far. I haven't actually tested below that yet. .3060 also does well. Shouldn't have any problems on a 3060 or a 3070. And we're also still in the process of adding a bunch of graphics options, so you won't be forced to use ray tracing once we are able to add that to the menu, because right now it's using Lumen, which is ray tracing, so you won't be forced to use it, which will help some of the older cards. Nanite won't be optional, but the game is very heavily optimized for Nanite. Ah yes, your temple. Yeah, I'm gonna go over there before I unload it. And the same with upscaling. If you use Lumen, ray tracing needs to be using an upscaler, but you don't have to use an upscaler in the game, so you can disable it. And this is Islander's Temple. As you see, he's actually a good environment designer. So he doesn't just look pretty, which is a good thing, because that would, I mean, then he wouldn't be so great at his job, right? But and I guess I'll show off a little of the redwoods while we're zooming around. This also is about to get a little bit of an overhaul with ground foliage, because I wanted to make it less dense so it wasn't a pain to run around in. Don't worry, these don't normally look like triangles. There we go. But now it's not quite where I want it, so I'm going to bump it up in some spots. But this is our redwoods biome. I did add lava. I forgot to put it in the changelog. As you see, we have a few rocks here. This is one of those things that got messed up when I was changing some things, so I'll be fixing that. So we're going to pretend that's not sand and move on. Yes, there is dynamic weather, so there's snow, storms, all kinds of stuff. Currently the water's missing over here because I'm replacing a lot of it, but this is one area I think people will like a lot. Yeah, it's just a few rocks. Nothing crazy. There are paths through the rocks, by the way. Yes, definitely, because I'm doing it again. Will there be terrain traps, like random cliffs in the forest, where you can die because you're sprinting through the forest? Yes, because I have died in that exact way. Many times. Rock formation. We definitely have a lot of rock formations on the map. Something tells me you'll probably find one that you like. I go pretty heavy on the rocks, allegedly. See, we're going to look at a few of these. I think this is one I normally use in the jungle. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure I've used this yet. Just going to look at a few of these so I can decide what to throw together for our rock assemblies. I will link it. Let me pull up that channel for the map requests. Just a moment. There we go. Map suggestions. Boom. How are we planning to tackle elevated rivers? Could you elaborate on that? I'm not 100% sure what you mean. Oh, this will look good. We will use this. So I'm going to put a few of the ones I've liked so far out here just so we can put them together. This looked alright. I do like this. And this. And I think we're going to use a cliff on a smaller scale. Maybe this one? Yes, there is will there be a heat and cold mechanic to deal with? We do have temperature implemented. At the moment it doesn't do a whole lot, but it will be. So you'll get benefits from being in specific areas depending on what you're playing. There we go. Man, I was looking for some that aren't open on the backside. I think a few of these are like that. Just have to see which ones. This might be one of them. Usually, it really depends on what I have in mind for the area, but usually if there's a mountain with a lake on it, the rivers will usually go down waterfalls, that kind of thing. But we also do have some where it goes down the side of the mountain. Although I do try to avoid elevated ones in that way, because they're not so great for swimming in if you're an aquatic. I think this will work. Let me just check this one. Can't remember if I already looked at it. Okay, we can use this. But that one is normally huge, but we don't want that. We're going to make a few rock assemblies here to scatter around. And about like that. I don't think I'm going to mix that one with it because the color is too different. Is it possible to alter the terrain? It's something I'm looking into, but I can't say for sure yet. Because we're using Nanite landscape, which is great for performance in our situation, but the downside is that Nanite landscape can't change in real time the actual shape of it. So I'm looking into using something like displacement to make the landscape look like it's changing. But I can't say with certainty that that'll work yet, because that would mean that I would have to force displacement for everyone on the landscape, and that is a performance hit. So I'm seeing if there's anything else I can do. Because I don't really want to enable displacement on the landscape. I've been able to go without it so far because it's a pretty heavy hitter for performance. I think a log or two would look pretty good down here. What that looks like. I think we'll use this. I think I'm going to lean it up on this rock. What sort of natural bridges do we have? We do have some natural bridges so far, and there will be more. One of them, for example, is a big rock bridge that leads from one of the villages out to the top of a mountain. It's actually pretty close to here. I'll go by it pretty soon. Oh, I see that is not ideal on the bottom side. For Philip, wasn't intentionally skipping your question, just I look up every now and then I look back down at what I'm doing. But the animations are not final for the humans. Let's see, I think I'm going to move these back here. Will we have nursery areas for baby dinos? I'm not 100% certain on that because that leans more towards the gameplay side that I don't do much with, but I have made some areas that would work for that in the villages. I haven't made too many of the villages yet, but and to think when we started doing the streams, I thought nobody would want to watch because game development is slow and... Where is this rock? Okay, it's not this one. Game development's slow, and as you see, environment design takes a long time. So I figured nobody would want to watch that, but I was wrong, and I'm glad. It can be tough being on a game dev team, but it's worth it to me. I like doing this, and the thought of getting to do this for however long the game stays relevant is a really nice thought. It's relaxing for me too. I do it too often though. But you know what? I don't think anybody's complaining. I guess we'll put this in HLODs. I think the main thing that's hard to explain though when I'm explaining some things about the game and features of it and, you know, the graphics engine and so on, it can be difficult because I would love to be able to support everyone possible, but at some point you do have to pick what technology you're using for the game and try to look at the future, and some people may not like the answer. So that always sucks, but I do think that we're making the right decision for what technology we're using. So I'm going to move this around a few places. And I think I'm going to put it up here too. So this is a good way to get good performance when you want to use a little bundle, I guess you could say, of multiple assets. You can put them in these packed level actors and repeat it around the same area, and it performs very well. And the demo should be pretty soon. That's mainly why I had to take a break from streaming, because I wanted to make sure the important bugs like the crash we were having, I want them to be gone for the tech demo. Look at that, halfway floating tree, unacceptable. Do I still have the whole map loaded? Yes. It just occurred to me it was running a little slower than normal. I definitely don't want to start anything. Unless that's just what you want. Like, if you ever come in here wanting a fight, just let me know. I can try to help. I don't want to disappoint. And I'm gonna move this a little bit. There we go. I'm going to make some more of these too. And I'm glad to hear it, by the way. I'm happy to have anybody watching, so for me it's awesome to have people interested in the game and all that. I definitely don't want to be... I don't know what I can say on the streams. I don't want to be not good to our fan base. Will you get a statue of yourself in-game if you donate enough money? I mean, I'm down to make statues. But you know, I don't even have a statue of myself in the game. When do I get one? Oh, there we go. I don't know why, but the page just stopped working out of nowhere. So I had to reload it. I might use one of these. I'm not sure. I keep looking at them because I want to use them, but oftentimes these are kind of a pain to place anywhere because they're open on everywhere except for the front. See, like it could look nice. That works. maybe this one? Yeah, I'm definitely excited for the tech demo. I'm gonna love seeing what people think. I hope. Or I'll cry a little bit. We'll see. I won't make any promises, but I'll live stream it if I cry. So you can see some of those sweet dev tears. It's trash. There we go. Oh, if it wasn't sticking out in the bottom there. Yeah. I don't know why packed level actors have tick on by default. Excellent. So now let me grab one of these other ones. Right there. Put that bad boy over here. Until, oh, no. That's not it. That is not it. It's pretty good. Blocks the path just a little bit. We'll try it out. I'll have to play test it. Oh no, I have to play the game. Now I'm going to lean this one forward a little bit. Oops. As long as I can hide this partially, it'll be good. Oh yes, and it is good. I wouldn't say there's any kind of catch. Just what you see. I'm sure the game won't be flawless because we're humans. So I guess that's the catch. That looks pretty good. Now we'll go back over here and I'm going to make a couple more I think I want to put most of the rock assemblies on these hillsides. Let's see. I think I could use this at the base of something. But I have different ideas. That's not it, Chief. Right there. I don't think I've ever said that phrase in my life. Until today. What happened to me? I definitely will use that. That's vibe worthy. There is a specific thing I'm looking for, and I think I already scrolled past it. One day it will open. This is Unreal Engine. Although we're doing things quite a bit differently than a lot of the games you've seen. Yeah, I think I'll use some of these embankments here. Okay. If I can. If I can. Because that looks pretty cool. The ability to make humans blue smurfs. Yes, you're right. We do need that. I will help you achieve this, even though I have zero say in that. I can annoy Islander. For the smurf. It's a vibe. think we'll use this. Just a few of these. I've been wanting to use these mossy embankments more, but they don't really fit in too many places. See, that is perfect. Or it will be, potentially. Okay, now I just need to add some rocks to this. Probably these mossy boys right here. Excellent. I like this. We used it on the other one, but I don't think many people are going to walk around and be like, that rock was used over there. How trash. This will work. I mean, if you ask me, the horseshoe crab is the alpha predator on the island, so really you should be raising those. It's just the logical thing to do. Just trying to help you out here. Actually, I don't think these need to be HLODs. So we're gonna not. And I do want to do something for these, I guess you could call them cliff sides. Oh yes, I can definitely show off the weather system. And the cool snow. I'm gonna put one of these boys here. We do have aquatic dinos. Did it just not spawn at all? Maybe a crab. That is not the way to talk about our Lord and Savior, horseshoe crab. How rude. You and I are going to have to talk. You know, that scaled up a lot bigger than I thought it would. For now. The horseshoe crab takes what it pleases. I have no say in it. No one does. Let's not make it impossible to walk down here. There we go. That there's a beauty. Yes, definitely. In a moment I'll load the whole map again and show it off. The weather. I've thought the same about insects. I don't know for sure yet about insects, but I like the idea of it. Look at that, I almost goofed. This boy. You see that, Islander? A bumblebee. If you recall, I've talked about replacing all of the dinosaurs with bees. The players want it. I'm just saying. There's no need to resist. Nobody prompted them to say this. It just came out because that's what they want. Bees. Alright, there we go. Islander confirmed bees. No more dinos, only bees. You heard it here first, folks. Yes. Oh my god, Bee Simulator actually is a game. I was so excited to find that out. It's on Steam. All aboard the hype train. We got bees. Now we can probably reuse this a couple times. We will see. That's my goal, but the fact that it's curving like this makes it difficult to reuse it. You won't be able to kill the crabs. Just letting you know. And it's not because you can't technically kill the crabs. It's because it's a skill issue, really. Can confirm, Horseshoe is OP. Before I continue on this mountain, I'll show off the weather. We'll start with the desert, so I'm going to load that area. I'm just going to load a huge portion because we can. "5 years later." It's true. The horseshoe crab just... you can't deny its glory when you see it. Can confirm. You know, most of the time I don't want to make executive decisions because I don't want to be the boss. I just want to play with adult Legos. But, you know, this time I had to. Well, it just wasn't really optional. Okay, so we're going to show off this weather. Oh wait, I need to select this actual area. Here we go. So here we have the sandstorm. You can't see anything. But if you get behind things like this, you can. It will actually block the wind. To be fair, also, you are at a different scale when you're playing, so it's going to be more like down here. Bee Simulator is better than every game. It's not even controversial. So that is the sandstorm. And we're going to go somewhere else for... Whoops. For the other things. So let's do... Let's go over here. Oh, this spot, I actually haven't covered it with a weather volume yet. So, all I have to do is change the overall weather. So if we want to test just rain, no, it does not look yellow in game. So here's with just rain. You have the fog that'll kind of hover over surfaces like so. And then thunderstorms. I regret to say that unfortunately it will not be on mobile. And we actually have the trees and plants reacting to the wind. Of course, normally it doesn't snow in the jungle, but we're just going to use it as a place to show off the snow. So here is normal snow. And with all of these different weather systems, whatever effect it is, like snow or sand, rain, if it's snowing, the snow builds up over time, takes about 15 minutes. And same with the rain, more puddles appear, so on. So as this keeps going, it'll get higher and higher and build up on more surfaces. Then you have the blizzard here. But there we are. Those are our weather effects. Now I'll head back over here. Get some more of this cliff done. I'm gonna see if I can copy this. I don't really know if it's gonna work out too well. But I would like to. think I'll just copy it a couple times. That actually sticks out way too far. Didn't even notice it. Now you can see why it's a little challenging sometimes when you want to copy something that turns a certain direction, because it won't always fit. Let's change that. Yes, definitely. Like Islander said, uh, I also would like all the water sources to be connected. And that's one of the things I was working on right before we started having the crash I had to deal with for a while. So I'm about to get back to that once I finish replacing the things that I removed so I could diagnose the issue. So I think for these other spots, I'll just go ahead and make them. I'm gonna try something out. I don't know if it'll look ridiculous or not. We'll see. Yeah, the color looks kind of weird next to that one. And I'm really not sure if I can change that while they're inside the packed level actor, or it might change all of them. Let me see. That's what I thought. So we'll go back to these then. Will there be temporary floods? Like Islander said, we've talked about it, so we'll have to see if it's possible or not. We would definitely like to. I also wish the game was released because I'd like to see everybody playing it. Mix it up a little bit so we don't have the same cliffs everywhere, but I'm gonna change the material on this. think the one that I'm using is up here. There it is. Roblox edition win. I want to make it kind of narrow in here, but not impossible to walk through. It's okay. We'll work on him with the Roblox thing. We'll get there. I think we can convince him if we work at it. You just have to be persistent enough that he just wants us to stop. Which I would never. That one's not so good for repeating, it looks like. It's too obvious. But I can do it that way. I want it that way. Oh, come on. It'll be fun to watch them run off cliffs. I've done it. Mainly because I'm rushing around. But I've done it. Just a moment. One of my kids just came in. Oh, well done. Tell Mom. Go tell Mom, okay? Sorry for that. Can you close the door? Oh, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. It's probably good for Islander to keep me in check, though, because I would absolutely love to hide cliffs, specifically for people to fall off. So Islander just needs to watch out for that, because you never know, I could just do it. Sometimes you just need to ask for forgiveness later. Allegedly. Not that I would ever. Okay, so we just need to fill in this last spot here, and this spot will be done. Look at that. We have an opium dealer in the chat. How nice. Now we need to get some debris here. Let me see what I already have out here. Thank you, I really appreciate that. I think we could use this. Try these out, see how it looks. For one, I need to see how dense this is. Well, that is abnormal. It's a vibe. We can use these. The testing thingy, I like it. Can we officially rename it? Because I like testing thingy. It sounds so much less official and more relaxed. And relaxing is good and healthy for you. Unless you do it too much. Thank you. Really appreciate that. I definitely want to make it beautiful. But also run well, so anybody who's concerned about that, that's a huge focus, so I don't think you'll be disappointed. If you are, then I will be disappointed too. Might be too many logs. We'll see. I'll probably change some of them. And I think I want to hand paint some ferns in a couple of spots to make them more dense. Here they are. Yes. Whoops. Yes, we are preventing that actively. The question about setting foliage settings low to make it easier to see people. Everyone will have the same draw distance on the foliage because since we're using Nanite, it's not a huge deal with draw distance. The only reason I limit it at all is to prevent overdraw, which is a whole other story, and it's going to get further than this. I'm just testing to see what works best, but everyone will have the same draw distance on foliage, so that will hopefully help with that. I think I'm going to put more of these in a couple of spots. Right over here. Oh yes. Give me ferns. Are we going to make more than one map? Yes. There are 2 maps, or there will be. This is the human island. It's more human oriented than the other one. The other one is focused on dinosaurs. So I'm going to cover up part of this. And the redwoods is technically up there. This is just kind of a outskirts that has a few of them. And then the jungle the other direction. Let's see, where did I put that rock assembly? Is it that one? Yes. Excellent. Do need to make sure. Yep, that's what I thought. Need to cover that up. I think one of these slopes might do pretty well for this. Let's see. Maybe. I want it to, is the actual answer. Never mind, that will not do that well. So maybe I'll just raise the ground up right here. That would be the easiest solution. But first we'll sculpt it, and then add a little erosion so it doesn't look ridiculous. Because sculpting with the landscape tools is like using a hammer. Obviously it'll have to go back up, but want to get it a little bit shaped before that. Maybe even hydro erosion. I'm telling you, I always try this, and I never like how it looks. We'll see. It just doesn't look like hydro erosion to me. Like, this is basically just smoothing it. Islander is the leader for the game. I'm just the map guy. And that's what I want, because I can just sit around and play with adult Legos all day and it's great. You can do the less fun things. My Legos have 10 million triangles. He does help out with the map. He made a really nice temple not too long ago. I would even say he's better at making structures than I am. That's never been my strong point. My main thing is doing nature areas. That's solid enough. Maybe a little more erosion. Because we can. Oh no, you don't. I see you. Perfect. Yes, he is the one who does the narration on the videos. And now I'm curious about the Far Cry map creator. I don't think I've ever seen any of their videos. And I think we'll probably go ahead and stop here in just a moment. But the stream schedule will go back to normal now. The crash that we were having is fixed, so I can finally get back to level design. This kind of reminds me of Mulan, where I forget his name, but he climbs up on the rock and he's like, "I'm king of the rock." You can do that here. I'm just saying. But I guess we'll go ahead and stop right here. I hear my kids screaming about something, so it's probably a good time. Thank you all for dropping in, and I will be back on Thursday, so it won't be too long. I hope to see you all again. Have a good day, everyone.